So that were built like 10, 12 years ago. This is a problem that I face actually trying to migrate that app into a server-friendly environment. We needed some performance applications. So what I did was I was experimenting with the different tools, and actually one tool caught my eye, and that is called Nitro. A lot on JavaScript and React. And usually, when it comes to building apps, I focus on the front end, like React and React Native. And for back end, I have usually the team takes care of the majority of the work. But still, JavaScript is super useful in the back end. You can build like full stack any applications right now. So feel free to like ask any questions regarding JavaScript after like my talk ends. I'll be available. Next is I'm an AI enthusiast. This is the fun part about JavaScript because I initially, when I first got intro to JavaScript, my major use case was adding interactivity to WordPress websites. Now I actually get to build agents using JavaScript that actually shows how well the language has matured. And outside of work, I'm really into science and sci-fi. And I also like part of world building communities. I actually engage with writers who are like building worlds for their games, novels, tabletop. So that's my interest. And lastly, I am also a pretty big gamer. And on Rival Season 3, I actually ranked the top 64 in Asia. This is like one of my proud moments. So if you have any gamers in the crowd, I'll be happy to connect with you. Cool. Next, let's start with the beginning. When we are building apps back in 2010, how many people here were developing apps in 2010? Can I get any show of hands? Anyone? Are you guys all like 2K kids? Okay, so when I was actually building an app in 2010, this is how the ecosystem used to look like. When it comes to backend frameworks, we do like LAMP stack. That's like Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. During my college days and all, this used to be a trend. You have to be the cool guys. You have to do LAMP stack. You can't like write PHP without spinning this LAMP icon on your desktop. Then once you got it to work, you had this Spring framework, Django.NET. So what these frameworks usually used to do is they focus highly on the backend side. Because back in 2010, when it comes to highly serious business applications, it's all backend that drives the business logic. Mostly front end, you will get like complex forms, a little bit of interactive home pages. So these are the tools that I often use when I'm like building front end. Especially, I'm a big fan of jQuery. It basically like makes your entire, you can actually replace your entire page using an API call. Back then it was a big deal. Doing like XHR and actually like replacing part of your page. Now we have React Router. It's like a 2-line task now. But back then it used to be a big deal. Then Angular came, Backbone.js came. But still, one thing that was common across these frameworks is all the data will be loaded on the server side. So let's say I'm fetching some users list. The data will be fetched on the server side. The JSON will be sent along with the HTML as part of the HTML when it renders for the user. So what I do in jQuery is I already know the JSON data is there. It will be like attached to an HTML data tag or something. I just read it and I put it inside a table and just show it to the users. Or if you are using like Django or Spring framework, we have templating engines that actually HTML on the server side. So what happens there is when you are sending the HTML page, the HTML page will dynamically, automatically include all the data. So the amount of processing needed on the front end is actually quite less. Nowadays, I don't think many of you seen this system because right now, whenever you need data, you do a use effect, add a fetch request. whatever you want, you just fetch it on the fly. And right now we have tools like React Query, SWR. It's like no one even bothers asking back. You just fetch whatever you want, wherever you want, in whichever component, you can just fill in the data. But this used to be like big challenges in 2010. And then we had a different category called the content-rich pages. This is actually where I started my work at. This is usually where I started my career at WordPress and Drupal. So what happens is whenever there's like a lot of user-facing blogs, lot of any public pages, we used to like add them to WordPress, or if we needed like much more customized data now, we add it to Drupal and we used to render it. Now we have Next.js. We have Next.js with the static site generation, get static props, or we have frameworks. I'll get to that. So let's do a fast forward to 2025. This is how most apps are built. Oh, what happened? When did it disconnect?
When you said like this is how he was done, sir.
Yeah, such an irony. All right, fast forward to 2025. And most apps today are fully white coded. Correct? Even the demo app that I have, that I actually white coded it. I just asked Cloud today, hey, build an app in a way that you build it in 2012. It actually like created an app exactly with the old styles. So this is how we are right now, like building our apps. The app itself is a full stack app. Like you want back end, database, front end, everything will be like packaged under this one single project, because right now we have this new stack of development tools called meta frameworks. Like right now, UI library, normal framework, you have Next.js. You take Svelte, you have Svelte. You take Quick, you have Quick City. Every framework now comes with its own meta framework so that you can build an end-to-end app. And this unified development experience. These are my favorite. Behind these meta frameworks is that if you want everything will be under one roof, and coincidentally, it's also very famous with AI agents. Because if you say like, hey, build me a full stack app using like React, right now Claude actually automatically picks up Next.js. Because it has been trained heavily on Next.js code. Next.js has become its go-to platform. And these frameworks like handle pretty much all the problems behind the scenes. You want server-side rendering, you have static props, get server-side props. All these utilities are available. And even one step above, we have React server components now. That's like even one level above, you actually like render server-side. But this is really good. Like from the time where we had like a different backend, which served like HTML filled with data from the server, over to the point where we have completely the entire full stack under like one single development environment. This is really good. But the reality is still most enterprises haven't caught up. Because right now, when you are like actually working real well, raise your hands. Yeah, they count. So this is the reality. Like, yeah, sometimes you have APIs. There are different types of backends, especially in like micro. So at all the point, front end becomes a separate project. Even if you use Next.js or Next.js, people will only use the front end part. Usually all those server-side routes are like unused. And what problem that I faced was, we had a React application that used like plain React.js without like Next.js or any other framework. And we also had some applications built using the old school jQuery way. Like jQuery like fetches data using XHR API request, and it used to like iterate. So that is full stack frameworks. This scenario are no good for me. So first thing, like when my team was asking, most of the React teams are like moving towards Next.js. So when I checked in Next.js, I used to be a big fan of Next.js for a while until like I stopped using it because pretty much all my work primarily focused on different, and I moved over to a different platform called Beach. So what happens in Next.js is you have to get your Next.js server, and it has a lot of server methods which 90% of the server-side modules are not usable for me. It's not needed. What I needed was
my journey to find an easy way to add a server to my project actually landed in a unreleased project. Okay, Nitro is actually a unreleased in alpha project. Right now they have a version that is Nitro V2, but right now Nitro V2 doesn't have the necessary features that I was looking for. So let me quickly go over to Nitro build. So this is Nitro, next generation server toolkit. This is a really good project. I used to try Nitro before I switched over to Bun. It basically lets you easily deploy your code to any cloud provider and all. But on the URL, let me just quickly add V3. Now this is the project that I came here to talk about. It's like not yet popular, but the main release is coming soon, and I'm sure it will be like very useful for many large scale applications. So the idea here is ship full stack Vite applications. So remember I told you I started building apps on Vite instead of Next.js. That is because Vite is a bundler like Webpack, but this is how its configuration looks like. If you look closely, you will notice how simple that configuration is. If you want to add some new framework, you just import the framework and attach it to the plugin and you are done. And now I am actually gonna show you how this works in a real world app. Okay, all right. So this is my project. Let me zoom in a bit. Oh, screen didn't switch. Okay, something's wrong. You need help. Live stream. Connected. Hello.
போயிட்டு வருமா இதுதான் பண்ணணும் சர்வீஸ் பண்ணு ப்ரோ மாசம்
என்னடா ராசா பண்ண சரி எனக்கு ஒரு ஐடியா இதே கரெக்ட் இது ஒரு ஸ்கிரீனை ஷேர் பண்ற வரைக்கும் ஷேர் ஆயிட்டு ஒரு நிமிஷம் இதை கனெக்ட் பண்றேன்
சரி நெக்ஸ்ட் என்ன பண்ணுவோம் வெயிட் இது போன்
ஓ சாரி கனெக்ட் பண்ணுங்க இது ஒரு ஸ்கிரீனை ஷேர் பண்ற வரைக்கும் கரெக்டா தான் போயிட்டு இருக்கு ஸ்டாப் மிரர் Hello. Okay. Sorry guys, a small problem. I'm only able to share like one window at a time. If I share my entire screen, it causes the connection to lose. But I'll still somehow manage. Let me also share the screen. Okay. All right. So first thing, let me walk you through the folder structure. So right now I have a legacy app here. I just named it legacy, but it's still quite a modern app. And this app, if you remember, was built with something called a Create React app. When I asked Claude to like pick a mostly used library, it just picked the Create React app and actually like created this entire project. Let me like start this project and actually see what's available. npm start. Wait, is it npm run start? Okay, what happened? Oh, wrong folder. Okay, so I just started the app. Now, since it's a different screen, I have to manually like change the screen. So it basically like created a e-commerce admin dashboard. Password, if I remember correctly, yeah. So it created this whole dashboard using the traditional React application setup. So you know it's a traditional app. First of all, what you will see is when you visit the entire page and do a refresh, you will see the HTML that loaded. Basically, it's gonna be like a plain, you need to enable JavaScript. It's a skeleton HTML. So if I switch the raw tag, you will see it has this plain div ID equal to root. That's pretty much it. None of the actual content will not be there. And once the bundle.js loads in, it will like populate the entire page. It will attach the React component. It will like spin up all these pages. And then when I go to pages that have content like the about page, fetch request would happen. It will fetch some data. Here in my case, I'm like fetching some markdown data, and it will render the markdown content on the screen once the fetch is like complete. So this is how most applications are built. So if I click on like any blog post, one more request will be made to get the corresponding blog markdown file. You will render the file on the screen. And interesting thing about this app is it also has authentication mechanisms. So here I have something called an auth context. And I didn't like implement any complex logic. I just asked it to maintain a single flag that says like if it is authenticated or not. And you'll notice it's a common pattern like using local storage. You can do local storage.get item. You can get like a session token or something, and your application will know if I am authenticated or not. So these are all patterns that are common to the single page applications on the client side, because you don't have access to the server. You cannot use HTTP only cookies. You cannot like render the HTML directly with all the data. So you basically like fall back to fetch requests. So if I go to my blog page, where is the blog page? app.js pages blog. Okay. You will notice there is this load about content. If I click on this load about content, there is a fetch request that just goes around and fetches the about.md file. And this file is actually in the public directory. Public is where like you serve all the routes that are like not part of any project. It will automatically fetch from the public. So you have a very nice client-side app. This app is fine for 90% of the cases. It contains all the necessary interactions. It contains all the necessary content. Now I am actually going to show you all how to build a similar application using SSR with a Nitro setup. I obviously cannot build the whole thing. Claude is like too fast. I'll build like a few screens to show you guys how that actually works. So first thing, let me go to the browser and get the command to create a new project. So here, let me click get started. They have a starter project online, but this is the fastest way to create a new Nitro project. Bunnex create Nitro app. So let me switch over to VS Code again. This is actually like little hard switching screen share every time. Okay, so let me open up a terminal and paste the command create Nitro app. And let me give the project a name, legacy app. I cannot call it Nitro app. Let me call it something else. New app. And it asks like two things, full stack with Wheat or backend with Nitro CLI. So this is the regular onboarding step. If you want to only build the backend or if you want the full stack app altogether, if you already have an app, right, there is a feature where you can add this to an existing project. That's part of the documentation. For the walkthrough, I'm just gonna say full stack with Wheat. And package manager, let me just use Bun. Initialize Git repository, no. Okay. Now it has created the new project. Let's see, it has two dependencies. One is Nitro and another one is Wheat. And you'll notice its version is weirdly written as roll down Wheat. That is because Wheat has a new project coming up called roll down, which is like much faster with a newer rewrite. Let's not worry about it. But right now there is no dependencies, just dev dependency. And let me see what other pages it has created. It has an app directory. It has a reference to the main.js file. So technically when I run this is the client-side JavaScript that will bootstrap the app. Like how we used to do react.create app. So let me try running this quickly. Okay, we now have a new app called Nitro plus Wheat. And here they also have provided an API route. So click me to call, it says API works. So this is just a regular API route and there is a fetch request behind the scenes. So let's explore that API route side as well. So we have a server /API. Inside that there is a hello, and this is the route /API/hello. When like a browser visits this page, it will render this hello message. And this is what we saw on the home screen. So we in the app, you can see they have added an event listener to fetch and basically like added an API request. Now, okay. It's only allowing me to share one window at a time. Okay. So next step is we have our regular app available and all the client-side stuff are present in the index.html. Let me quickly convert it into a React app. And it's actually pretty simple, like installing React inside a Vite project. Wait.
Maybe பண்ணுங்க. இது switch பண்ணுங்க. Okay.
Okay, finally. This would speed things up because I already have a completed app. So first thing is in your Vite config, right now we only have Nitro. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add one more line to it. I'm gonna add React to the Vite configuration, and this requires installing this one little plugin called Vite.js plugin React. Let me just install this one as well. So that should install like plugin React. And secondly, like in TS config, I have to provide one more option here, JSX React. So the TypeScript knows this project like supports React syntax. And then I can actually like start adding all the React dependencies. So next, bun install React and React DOM. And I already have the app setup available here in a different branch. Let me just bring those over. So first, this code will be like familiar to you all. This is how we bootstrap a React application. We have like React DOM.create root, and basically like have this root element in our HTML file. Okay, this will set up the new React app. I just need to like rename these extensions over to TSX, because once you add JSX, the file extensions have to be changed as well. Is the project still running? Let's hope it does. So it actually rendered the React component. You have Nitro SSR app, and the way it works is Nitro will look for the app directory first. It knows index.html is where the client side code is going to be present. And in the index.html, it will, we have mentioned from the app directory, take the main.tsx. And as soon as Nitro knows the app is present inside the app directory, it will pass this file to Vite. And Vite will take care of compiling this project into a React app. So we have the client rendered app here. But now, what if I want to like render a specific page, for example, the about page from the server? So let me quickly show you how that works. So you will get a special directory called the server here, server/API. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder called routes. Now, and Nitro works is first, before it reads the index.html file, it will check if there is any API route present on a given path. Then it will check any routes directory present on the given path. Using that routes directory, it will know, should I run this page on the server or on the client side? So in my routes.js, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something called an about.tsx file. And this will actually bring my about page, but this time the about page will be rendered from the server. Okay, so first I will need the about code base. So let me get the code from the old app. Inside app about, I'll create another file about.tsx and I'll make it caps. And from the legacy app, let me go to about.js, bring the whole thing. And here I can show you what happens when I bring a client-side page over to the server. So first thing, I actually don't need to load about content because I will be serving the content directly from the server to the client. So I got rid of the load about content from the use effect. That pretty much makes this function useless as well. Parse markdown, yeah, I want to parse a markdown and convert it into plain HTML, and I no longer need a loading state because the server will send this file with the data. I no longer need to like load any HTMLs. So let me get rid of the loading state as well. And content this time will be available as a prop. The job of passing this content as a prop now falls to the server side. So I also don't need the state for the content. So now what happens is we have a markdown parser and some JSX. Pretty much all the client side logic needed to like fetch code is gone. Finally, before rendering this content, I'll just call parse markdown and render this content directly. So this is how an about page will look when it is like rendered from the server. And let me also show you how that logic will look on the server side. So on the server routes, I have an about.tsx file. So this is a syntax that is unique to Nitro. You will need to read it on the Nitro docs. So the way it works is, first it imports React and it has imports a module called render to string. So the idea of this render to string is it will take an entire React application, including its JavaScript and all the JSX components, and convert it into a string so it will look like an HTML element. Okay, then what I am doing is, this is where I am like reading the content. I am just reading the about.empty directly using Node.js process module. I am reading the CSS file. Then I am just using the Node.js read file path to actually get the string value from the content and CSS. And in the render to string on the server side, I'm using JSX. I'm saying, hey, this is the HTML you have to send to the client. That HTML is going to be this about component with the content prop rendered as a string. And finally, on the response, I construct the rest of the head, body, and all the other tags. Remember, the ID root, within that root, I am already actually rendering the entire about page as a plain HTML. And if everything goes right, hopefully this should run. So let me quickly go and check how the about page looks. 3000 slash about. Failed to load URL. I forgot to copy the CSS file. Where am I? In the about, I have to keep the about.css file there. Okay. And src pages about.css. Let me paste the CSS. I'm just reading the CSS file as a string. Now let's quickly see. What happened? It's the export default. It's export const. All right. Now what? Wait, did I install packages in the wrong directory? That is still fine. The MD file is not in the right path. Correct. So from here, okay, it goes one step back over to the parent directory itself. Let me move that here and it will read the MD file. Yeah. So now you have that about page. And here is where things get interesting. I'm going to do an inspect network and do a refresh. You will see there is not much static assets going on over here because pretty much all the required assets are already served along with the HTML. So if I look at the HTML, you will see the CSS files, and you will also see all the React components as strings. So two advantages: this page will render really fast. You get like all the benefits of server rendering, but at the same time, if I don't go to the about and I go to the root of my project, I still have my client rendered regular React app, because in this React app, if I go to its primary document load, you will notice that the root div is empty. The Nitro SSR app will not be there because this is a client rendered React app. Now, this is actually pretty powerful because now what I can do is any of my project that is plainly like just a client application, I can install Nitro, go there and actually start setting up server routes. And no refactor is needed. And remember when I told you one project is actually using jQuery, I can just use this approach, remove the React part and actually server render jQuery. Because at the end of the day, I just have to render the entire HTML as a string. So now I get the full power of server rendering jQuery. And on top of that, since this project uses Vite, every other framework is also supported. Let's say you have a Svelte project, Vue.js project, anything, it's just a matter of including that language as a plugin here. And now all your frameworks, libraries, regardless of their setup, can be server rendered. Right now, this nice little tool is still in its alpha stage. I'm actually hoping for a quick release. And once it is live, I'm sure most of your teams can start using it in your application. And it will save you like a lot of time on refactors. Cool, guys. Hope that concludes my talk for the day. And if you want to like connect with me, I will be available here offline, and you can also like connect with me on my socials. I just added my link to the website. It has all my social links. Cool. And yeah, Nikhil, over to you. Oh, Praveen, sorry.
Okay, so we are actually running out of time. So all the Q&A session, like we will have it during the networking session. So if you're having any doubts or anything, you could reach out to Dani. So during the break as well as after the meetup gets over, we'll have a networking time during which we will, if you have any doubts, you could connect to Dani. Okay, all good? All good? Nice. So let's give a big round of applause for Dani. So how do you guys feel? Did you like it? So I heard like someone actually came for Dani Akash, bro. Who was it? Okay, so what is your experience with it? Did you like it?
So this is my first time in React community. So I basically, as a backend engineer, I'm from, and during the latest times, I am trying to get into the front end, and I was looking for React Native and build up reusable components. Basically, React is right. So I thought maybe this could be the start of it. So it's pretty much easy to get started with React. So I just came here for that, and as I could see from the presentation, it's pretty neat and pretty easy to get started. So I'll get going and do it, the stuff. Yeah, with the Nitro specifically.
That's nice. We okay. So now it's time for felicitation. Now I invite Nikhil to felicitate Dani. Let's give a round of applause, guys. Okay, so now for the next speaker of the day. So he bootstrapped Retro from 0 to 1. He has also interned in Google, Nvidia, and Talentship. He also conducts a podcast called Idu Namma Tech. So now let's give a big round of applause to Dhanush. He has been a volunteer in Chennai React, and now he's a speaker. So super proud of Dhanush. So his session is going to be on advanced streaming UI architectures in React for AI apps. Over to Dhanush.
Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. Hope my audio is clear for everyone. Yeah. Okay. Super. So like my talk is just nothing about. It's not my talk. To be honest, I didn't prepare this yet. So it will be my diary because like I'm just building my SaaS using I really like to build AI based SaaS. During that, I'm just faced a lot of issues in terms of the performance, in terms of cloud cost and optimizations. And of course, you guys are also okay. By the way, how many of you guys were working on AI based front ends or AI based SaaS in your company or as your startup? Can you hands? Wow, great. 1, 2, 3. Like it's kind of countable. Okay, super. So like it will be my story, like it kind of my diary, like how I manage the things beyond me, like when I'm building that AI-based applications like the streaming and LLMs handling and rendering the LLM content into the front end with some new, like I'm not sure this is a new package. It will be the existing package, but most of people doesn't really aware of that. Even though me, I'm not also aware of that tool, but it literally helps me a lot. So I'm just sharing my experience and how I reduced my cost using like front end cost and the streaming architecture. So before that, I want to just make some small introduction of myself and hope I promising you my talk is not like very long time. It will be the short and sweet. So like, okay. So before that, like I'm Dhanush, I'm from Bangalore. So like my native is around this fellow. So literally I'm being part of Chennai React since 1.5 years as a volunteer. And apart from that, like I'm building a SaaS called Retro. It's a basic agile retrospective platforms with a lot of AI powers. And also I'm building and stealing it as a startup soon. So these are about me. And apart from that, being a Tamil guy, I'm really like to make podcasts. So like I'm running a podcast named Idu Namma Tech. It's a Tamil tech podcast. So if you are around in Spotify or Apple Music, just check it out. As hope you get a lot of insight from that. So yeah. So like the word advanced streaming in UI. So anyone have an idea about what is streaming in UI? It's not about a YouTube streaming or video streaming. Literally in terms of here. Oops, slide is wrong. Okay, fine. So anybody have idea what is streaming in UI? Any React developers, front-end devs on the floor? Yeah, so like we are generating some responses back from the server to the front end for the user. So this is simply called streaming. So why? Just going with my slides. Says, oh, it's lagging now. Go slow. Oh my. ரொம்ப ஸ்லோவா இருக்கு. என்ன ப்ராப்ளம்? Sorry guys, some technical issues.
You could be like one hell of a developer, but still, like, sharing screen sometimes may cause the biggest problems. Okay, so until then, let's see. So I have a few questions from the previous session. It'll be open to all. You could just answer it. Okay. So what is the full form for LAMP stack? LAMP STACK. Danny actually spoke about that. That's nice.
Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP.
You worked in it?
Yeah, I'm currently working in PHP and Laravel. So yeah.
I do work in PHP. Just started. Nice. Okay, so now I'll be telling a few meta frameworks. Okay, so you'll have to tell me for which particular. So you'll have to tell me either it's for React or Vue or Svelte or Angular. You understood, right? Okay, I'll be telling a few meta frameworks. So you'll have to tell it whether it's for React, Vue, Svelte or Angular. Okay, all good. We'll start. Nice. Next, NUXT.
It's for view.
Nice. Okay, remix, REMIX. Anyone? Nice. It's for React. Gatsby. That's nice. Gatsby is for React. Analog JS. ANALOG JS. Anyone? Analog JS. Sorry. Analog JS. It is the meta framework for Angular. I don't think so. I'll have to cross the middle, so I'll just stand over here. Okay, so Next.js. It's very obvious. White press. VITEPRESS. White press. No, speakers are not allowed. Yeah, it's for view. Do I have anything else? Okay, few more questions. What was the original name of React before it was open sourced? Anyone? I just GPT'd all these questions yesterday for fillers. Even I did not know all these things before. What is the original name of React before it was open sourced? Any clues? It's just a name. I can't. It is similar to Xerox. Uh, it- yeah, it's not photocopy. I'm trying to give a better clue, but running out of clues. Anyone? Okay, it's called Fax.js. It was called Fax.js, and later now it's called React. Okay, so in what year React was open
So currently I'm working on a gamified portfolio of myself using Flutter. So I got an inspiration from the portfolio from the Bruno Simons. He is the one who created a 3D portfolio. So it was so something interactive. I want to make my portfolio similar to his. So my theme of gamified portfolio is from the Mario theme. So kind of like I'm using the idea of Mario and making into my portfolio gamified. So yeah.
There is also a meetup group for Flutter. It's headed by Justin. So if you are looking for Flutter ecosystem, probably I guess you should also check out that. Oh, you have gone to number Flutter. Nice. So with Flutter, I guess you could also make web applications, right? Like you could make mobile, web, everything, right?
Actually, I have made a. This is portfolio is based on web app, but before portfolio, I was making a game from Flutter called Snake Game. You know the button in button phone, you will be like seeing a snake game, right? Up and down, left and right button. Same way, same retro feature. I'm going to like develop in mobile phone using Flutter, but in the space theme. Yeah.
Anyone who is working on any cool projects wants to share about it? You have a bunch of people in here. Okay, so we'll wait for some more time. Until then, if you don't have anything to discuss, I guess like we'll settle down. Okay, so anyone knows the title for the next talk? Or do you even know the speaker? Anyone knows the title for the next talk or the speaker? He's right over there. Okay, I'll just come. Yeah.
Behind Flex.
Yeah, it's Beyond Flex. And the speaker's name, you know about him? That's good. Okay, you have few doubts. Okay, so Danny is actually here. If you have any doubts to Danny from the previous session, I guess now is the time. Until that gets fixed, all your doubts to Danny.
Hi, Dani. I'm Vijit. Hello. Okay. So regarding that session, you said about the server-side rendering. So I have few doubts, like how you are going to handle the dynamic interaction in the server-side rendering. So in client side, it was easy, but right now it was populating the page. So how you going to handle the? So that was my curiosity.
So right now in my setup, I didn't actually like bundle any JavaScript. I only like sent the string. But I can also send the plain React JavaScript that will hydrate the logic as well. So the bundle.js file that makes your page interactive, right? I can send the bundle.js as well along with this. So it will render as an HTML, then React will take over and it will make the entire HTML interactive. It is still possible. Yeah.
I will get the detail after session.
This is all like you will learn with it, practice, because when it comes to server rendering, the concept is huge. In a talk, I can only show you like few areas, but there are even more advanced, interesting concepts. Nitro docs actually has like a detailed section on hydrating and rehydrations and all.
Okay, I will try.
Finally, I guess we have got it. This delay was like an use effect without a dependency array, which was running infinitely. Like everything started working. So over to Dhanush.
Thank you, Praveen. So yeah, after a long break, getting back to the content. So yeah, so like when you're streaming a content from the LLM, so of course. So let me ask you a question. So like mostly you guys are using a GPT, right? So any one of you feel like why if you ask something in the chat GPT, it will give us like a like typewriting effect. Do you why anyone know why is that happening? Exactly. So it's continually generating the tokens actually. So like that token itself can have any idea about that. So like, of course, you know that for like in interactively generating a token, the token itself like generating in the front end. So in terms of that, the code have to know which token have to display first, which token have to display next. So for that case, we have the special cases called deltas. So like in terms of delta is nothing but it's a priority scheming. So for example, have one token. So this token is priority order is 1 and this token is priority order 2. Likewise, it will give the priority for the like for every token it gives a priority. So like, apart from that, I'm just lagging on that. So when it comes to the React server components, so yeah, so like of course, if we are most of the guys who are building an AI application, we strongly go with React server side components. So like if you're using like most of the people are just using this suspense for their streaming. Like default, whenever you see any AI apps in the MVP, of course they're gonna use the suspense method, because the suspense method it will directly stream statics without any token depreciation. So these are the things we guys are just making as a random thing, and as a beginner point of view, we are making like this. So yeah, so like I'm just want to make it's more clear for you. Okay, like just I want to come back to the content what actually LLM streams, because I said the deltas, the tokens, these are the things just generated by the LLM. So like just assume that. So yeah, next slide. So yeah, I think it will be the good example for you guys. So for example, just see that. So it's generally assume that LLM generating a content named hello. So for every character or every token, it will give the priority type of priority and the text. And also there is one thing is missing is delta. So delta in the sense is give the priority number from 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So based upon that delta content, the stream gonna happen. So like these are the really basic thing about delta. So delta is nothing but the chunks of outputs from the LLMs rendering into the front end screen. So these are things that I want to share with you. And like, okay, so like, okay, we guys come to know about what is delta and why the delta is really hard for React. So this is the thing I'm really facing off, because I'm just using the current GPT-5. So it will give above 200 tokens per second. So literally my screen is really started to lag. It literally like it's loading. I'm really can't able to do what behind the scene is. So like in that time, I've come to know that React has some permutative for the like real-time rendering the content from the from the React server side component. So for that, like the React has some issues like high frequency update, because it's literally for every milliseconds give up to 20 to 80 tokens. It will be a little bit slow and out of chunk order. Suppose if the back suppresses, for example, just assume that for every second the LLM generates more than 200 tokens, 300 tokens in the sense, literally React can't able to anything. So it's gonna be a back press for that. And then next is no fixation complete points. So like mostly when we are giving the delta points, it will give a priority from 0, 1, 2, 3. But in any delta, there is no ending priority, because it will go like a number series, and that number series itself doesn't have the end card. Because why means, because suppose if we are generating in the sense, we have to stop it suddenly, so and we have to make the back press on that, so it doesn't mention any any ending completion point for the LM generating content. So like, and of course the incremental generating, as I mentioned, like for every delta content we have 0, 1, 2, 3. So for the based on the incremental content, the LLM gonna be streamed. So yeah, so like how many of you know about these two pictures? So one is Versal, and one is Jotai and Rex.js. How many of you know about Jotai? Wow, nice, super. How many of you know about RxJS? Nice, super. Thank you. At least I know some people are there. So like these tools are actually, they are just like state management tools. So like they are very lightweight state management tools, which I gonna use instead of this Versal's AI SDK. So I just want to make a differentiator a bit, that UI chunks in the cells, it's gonna hack us atoms on that. I'm just rendering that atom into like very minimal KBs of model without hesitation of my resource expenditures. And yeah, so first I'm just want to come about the Jotai setup. So like it's gonna be the delta state management, because as I mentioned previously, the deltas have a like priority in the sense 1, 2, 3, and each delta have a specific number of tokens to manage. So for that, I'm really gonna use this instead of AI SDK for the first step. So the main purpose of I'm just using AI is like I want to just make it as a proper state management of the tokens provided by the LLMs. So the first thing I just want to make it like passing the message throughout the I just see in this code base. So like I'm just getting the every tokens delta, and just appending that with the minimal state management. Because like when we make it as a minimal state management session, you can customize the flow of your LLM. But what is the delay time and how much it's gonna be responsive. Instead of you are making a long loading time, you can just directly show to the user what behind the scene is happening, like that. And also like we can go with bundle. Okay. Not answer, but okay. So like, so the another reason I'm just using the RxJS for my AI application is the main thing is the back pressure and debounce you update. You already have about back pressure in your AI application. So just assume actions. So you have the screen 1080 screen, and you have the like your browser have support only 60 fps per second the sense. So suddenly you got put the thousands of tokens in a second. This is what your screen gonna do. It literally sucks your screen and sucks your RAM. So this is the back pressure. So like if you give enormous number of tokens without any limitations, it's literally cause the back pressure. And debounce in the sense nothing, but when it's the AI is generating the content, we're gonna stop that by any stop action or a breaking action is debouncing. So like when you're using the Versal's AI SDK, literally I'm just facing that yeah. So literally I'm just facing this back pressure issue because like see I'm using a very old laptop, so right now so I'm using very old laptop. It only supports only 60 fps. So in that time I'm using the large like Nvidia's neuron lines. It's one of the largest token generating it literally generates 4000 per second. So like in that time just started it to my front end. My front end get rid of the client side has really lagged and I can't able to do anything. In that time I'm just started. Bro, it's very long. What, bro? It's very wrong, bro. Okay, fine. No. Okay, fine. So yeah, so in that, like you can making your own customization because, like if you want, you are meant to manage the back pressure. You can dynamically manage the back pressure. Suppose if your user is belongs to a mobile user, now you can make it as you can make a limitation of your token generating per second. And if they have a high-end computers, now you have to make it as a high token per second. Literally, you can manage the performance, those things under this. RxJS. But I think these features are not really in versus AI SDK. These are the things I'm really facing it off. So like after updating this, like I can't able to manage my AI application for all the device. It really performing up to 25% with the low cost efficient. It literally saves around $20 per month for my AI infrastructure and my client infrastructure. So in terms of multi-models, because see, like AI is not only generating the text content, so it literally generating the videos, images, audios. So for that case, I have anything specifically really doing good is, as you can same use this RxJS. So like we're gonna like doing like streaming in the sense you can make a subscription like streaming. So like in like how many of you using a Superbase here? I think most of the people are really using Superbase. I guess, yeah. So in Superbase, we can make real-time rendering. We can use a feature, so a subscription feature. Like it's a module, we can manage like real-time rendering actions. So for the same thing, we can handle like multimedia real-time rendering using this function. Using in RxJS. So like you can manage those things. What behind the scenes in LLM is happening, you can just make it as a color sort of display, or it's make it as a color sort of loading process, or it make it as a redundant content, and based upon the screen sizes and based upon the device specification, you can customize at your own risk. So yeah, so let's talk about the benchmark, because maybe some people are really feeling when it's confused. That benchmark gonna helps you to get clarify what I'm saying. See how the performance is between the AI SDK of Versal between that my setup like Jodi plus RxJS. So like literally, see like how the re-rendering is happened. Yeah, you guys know about re-rendering, right? For every token, the screen gonna re-rendering again and again. So it really sucks your browser RAM. So and it really affects your performance of your application. So of course, when I'm using the AI SDK of Versal, it really high. So I think so. In market, they say they are low, but using our customization, we can make it as very low as possible. So these are things. And it's come to the bundle size. So just see, the Verse SDK is around go to like 45 to 50 KB, I guess. But it's literally around the 4K, for 15 to 14 KB, I guess. So I have that slides in my next plate. And when it's come to the memory peak, so memory peaks, it really matters when you're building your AI application, because you have to make the real-time haha moment for your like your users. You have to focus on memory peak, because what really so like you can make it as between the versions and the Jodi plus RX setup, because it really light. It doesn't drinks your CPU instance. So and it's come to the latency first data. So we can customize our latency. So no more comparison. It automatically wins. And so this is the main thing I want to just share. It literally gives you the clear vision what I just want to share. So like let's see the bundle size between the AI SDK and the Jodi plus AI. Versatile SDK itself has around 45 KB. You see, like 45 KB, what matters, Dhanush? 45 KB is just a piece of memory. No, even though just think of that. If your app is used by 10,000 users, 10 lakh users, just multiply into it 45 KB. It will take a lot of space and it will suck your resources, and the cloud cost will gonna be high. But just see Jodi plus RxJS setup, it really less than 12 KB. I guess it's 11.27, I guess. So it's really high. So like when you are using a lot of users, so more than if you're handling the lakhs of users, crores of users in the sense, it's really helps for you. And re-rendering frequency. So basically in like in ASDK of Versal, it making as hook level architecture. Hook level architecture in the sense LLM provider are providing a separate API for them. For every request, it will make an internal loop, like internal hook, and from the hook itself, it will rendering the content to the direct users. But it is not like that. It is an atomic structure. Atomic structure is, atom is nothing, it's a piece of chunks like that. So likewise, if you're providing our LLM instance from our own data, like it literally make it as a chunks and display it directly to the browser. So no more arguments, no more hooks, no more third party, no more blank of things. So like next it's come to the back pressure and cancellation. Of course, we know, like I'm just shared about this actually, and back pressure versus ASDK is really sucks your resources. But in terms of Jotai plus RxJS, it's totally customizable. You can set your token limits, you can set your back pressure limits, all the things just in your hands. And when it's come to the multimodal and custom deltas, I think Versal AI SDK is providing very limited amount of multimodals as of I guess. But in terms of like you can make your own risk, you can render it to user your own of wish. And like the edge time and compatibility. So Versal is really doing good because like it's really, I think it's really good with Next.js and yeah. So Next.js and when it's come to the Jotai plus RxJS, it's really giving a competitive for the Versal AI SDK. It's literally like a Tamil, Vanga Pangali, let's we fight like that. So yeah. So like in average re-renders. So like for every 1,000 tokens, I say like for every token set of token generation, the screen will re-render to give the like real-time experience. So for that, when I generate 1,000 tokens, it's literally like it rendering the screen for 87 times. But if you are using a Jotai plus RX, it's really useful, and you can minimize that at your own wish. So it's totally in your control. And the memory peak, like previously we seen log slide, so it takes around the 94 MB approximately, but it's really cost around 60 MB. You can also reduce that your level. So yeah. So okay, when to choose this stack. So like see, like if you are because if you are a beginner, or if you are guys started to build your SaaS, in the sense you guys are not really aware of those things. So when I choose when I migrate my existing tech to this stack now, like they have some criteria, because if you are building a revenue generating SaaS like me, so if you are handling more than 1,000 plus users or lakhs of users, in this space really it matters. And if you need a less than 15 KB streaming of code, because like I said previously, 15K, you feel 15K is minimal, but when it comes to large number of users, it really matters. So like these are things. And the thing is control. Of course, as I mentioned, Versal ASDK doesn't provide that much of control, but when it comes to Jotai plus RxJS, it's in the black. So it will give all the control. You can manage all those things in your things, and it's to the as I said previously, you can customize the things for mobile users, the web users like that. So you can make it as a clear path. So you can handle your own users with all devices, and even damn performance for your AI application in multiple devices without any hesitations. And the final thing is planning for agentic React loops. So if you're building an agentic AI, of course you have to make it as a more token loop. So for that, if you're handling more token loops, it literally impact your browser's performance after the site's performance. So if you're editing over that, you can use Jotai plus RxJS content. And yeah, this is my karate. So you can use the Jotai for if you want a full level customization, if you want to beat the Versal AI SDK and our other AI SDK providers. So these are just my things. So that's all. I think I'm not bored you. So like, let's connect with me on my profile. So it's available. So you can connect with me anytime. And during network session, if you have any doubts regarding my talk, you can don't hesitate and just ask me. I'm ready to answer for this. So okay, guys, Nandri Vanakkam.
It improved the cost of from for an end user from $2 to something, or up to $2. How does it flow work? Can you just give me some example of, oh, this is the reason how it improved?
During network session, I really spent this time for you. I will explain the entire flow, what I did for my SaaS. I'm really glad to do this. Thank you.
Any more questions?
So Versal is doing as such, and Jotai is doing something in between. Is it like doing some time frame kind of thing, or why it is kind of performant than the regular Versal?
Actually, in my perspective, what I'm just want to share, like as you mentioned, for Jotai, we are using to manage the chunks. So we're gonna using a Jotai, we're gonna manage that LLM's response. So like in ASDK, you know that we are making that every tokens as a chunks, and that chunks itself gonna stream in your like in your front end, right? But it's the same thing we're gonna use in like Jotai. Like it will like instead of they are saying chunks in Jotai, it's called as atoms. So we're gonna generate every tokens as an atom. That atom gonna rendering like it's literally working like as like a verse SDKs. But the thing is, it's resource friendly because the size is very minimal, and also that state management is outclassing. So like literally they have, instead of they are using a traditional state management, they are really did something on the base of state management. That's the thing. And in terms of streaming so using stream upload on that. So using the stream upload, you can manage those streams. You can even gonna stream how many tokens, how many atoms it gonna stream. Make it a device level. Using your application, manage how many tokens can get for application. So this function called a stream, like stream observable stream build function. So you can use that. You can manage that customization of level of customization. That's the thing.
And practically, do we see any difference between Versal AI and the Jotai plus the RX combination? So
Exactly. That's actually the thing I just want to share. Now, like, see, like the practical difference when you got to understand now, like based upon number of users. So when you're handling like around per day, you are handling 1,000 users, 2,000 users. Now, like existing way, Versal's AI SDK is far enough. If you're using like just assume that I'm using a GCP one instance, I'm having built my own XJS application. I'm just handling 2,000 users per day. Now it's really good. When it comes to the lakhs and 10,000s of users, like it literally say for that every node module is gonna generate again and again for every users, right? So for in that case, the instance memory size is gonna increase. So in that time, it will affect your cloud billing. In terms of billing, it may increases your billing. But after I migrated from my Versal AI SDK to this, I feel a lot of different because it literally reduced like around $10 per month for in terms of cloud expenditures. So likewise, it purely depends upon the number of users. As I mentioned previously, like if you are generating a revenue making SaaS in the sense, you can use this stack like Jotai plus RxJS SaaS. Like if you are using like a normal users, or if you're handling around 2,000 to 10,000 users, it's really good. When you're crossing the limits, when you have a high traffic, high usage in a sense, you may try this. It's create a haha moment for you. It's really created for me, and I just want to share about this. That's my thing. Yeah.
Thanks, Dhanush.
Thank you. Glad to for that.
Like we'll stop all the questions for now because we are running out of time. But all you could do is like Dhanush will be here throughout this day, so you could ask questions today. And if you're going to miss him today for the next meetup, also he'll be here. So you could ask him even then. So now it's time to felicitate Dhanush. I invite Kamakshi to felicitate Dhanush. Let's give a round of applause, guys. Sharing your screen, I guess, like is one of the toughest things to do. Who's taking photos? Yeah, just give us 1 minute. We're just looking for the slides. Yeah. Okay, so as per our schedule, the next event was supposed to be what? Break. Okay, but unfortunately, there are some delays in it. So what we'll do is we'll go for the quiz, then we'll go for the break. Is that okay? Nice. So okay, so for the first three winners, I guess, Nikhil, for the first three winners, right? Yeah. For the first three winners of the quiz, we have some goodies. So the quiz is going to start. So to Kamashaka.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So before moving to the break, we will have a short technical icebreaker. So in this, we have 10 technical JavaScript questions. For that, you need to pay some attention on the question and answer it. Please scan this QR. For each question, you have 20 seconds to answer. Can we start? Give proper name to identify the persons.
Anyone having any issues? All sorted? Oh, okay. Sometimes, yeah, like it does take some time. Like you could actually retry it if you're getting some errors. Just try refreshing. It'll take some time. Yeah, yeah.
You'll get some time.
Their instances are getting warmed up, I guess. They wouldn't have expected sudden surge of users. So just give it some time. It should be good. All good? All good, everyone?
No, blank screen.
We'll just wait a couple of more minutes.
Okay.
All good. Like we'll start. Is anyone having the blank screen still? All well, no good. Okay, So how many of you are having issues? Can you please raise your hands? Jesus. Where is Nikhil bro? Nikhil bro, is something we could do? Okay, can you please raise your hands again? They're having issues connecting. Raising your hands. So okay, so I asked to raise your hands if you're having problem connecting. Correct, right?
யாரை ரீஃப்ரெஷ் பண்ண வேணாம்னு சொல்றா கரெக்டா தான் இருக்கா வருது கேட்டேன் பட் உனக்கு மெயின் மாதிரி இல்ல மெயின் பண்ணா கரெக்டா இருக்கும்
We are able to see a lot of users join in. Okay, so now how many of you are not able to connect? Again, the same count.
I still same, so it seems like issue with quiz.com. Probably we can proceed.
So I guess like we'll start.
We'll start with probably like we should not offer any gifts for. So like 50% is in and 50% is out. That's my understanding. Probably we can go with the quiz one by one and like they can proceed, or we can ask Ragav to speak, then like quiz next. So it's a server issue, so we can't do anything, right? So no gift, but we'll continue the quiz. It's still the same, right? Guys, still the same. So we can't do anything. Just continue one. So then like gift to time. All right, let's get started with who is in. Probably like others are unlucky. We'll get started. Yeah.
Okay, the first question. Guess the answer.
I'm really sorry for it, but probably next time maybe. Yeah, there are some issues with quiz.com. If you're unable to join, we are really sorry about it, but probably next time. Probably everything that could go wrong. Project is. We are really sorry about it.
இருங்க
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Praveen. Okay. Lovely to see a crowd even after the snacks break. Okay. So this talk is a fun talk, I would say, right? We learned some of the new thing that is happening in CSS, basically, right? How many of you guys are fond of CSS? Give a raise of hand. Okay, good. How many people hate to the core? I think it reminds us of the Peter Griffin meme, right? All the time, you throw at the wall anything that sticks and see if it works or not, right? That's what everybody does. Hopefully today we will learn a little bit and get into fun. And how many people use Tailwind? Is their primary driver? Big fan of Tailwind. I have a hot take on it. I feel it is a crutch for not learning CSS properly, but I hope so. After this talk, you feel more into to learn more about CSS, right? Because what they are doing is they're putting a giant wrapper on CSS and then they're delivering it to you, right? Instead of why not use the thing that is intended to be used, right? So that is the main thing of this talk, right? And sadly, all our AI tools are very good at Tailwind, right? Not with the real CSS, right? So that's why we need good developers, right? Because you guys know all AI, what it does is garbage in, garbage out. Okay, the more you use Tailwind, and then it'll say, I also don't know CSS. You didn't teach me. Okay, so they'll also give you the Tailwind kind of a things only, right? Otherwise, so you should pick up your game. I think that this talk is all about that. And you guys know there's been a big boom in CSS lately, right? In the last 5 years. Can you guess how many features been delivered into CSS? Right? Any guess? Yeah, anybody can tell. No, how many number? Like a ballpark number. I mean 10, 5, in the last 5 years or so. No, anything. 15. So we have 15 here. 20. No, in IPM ஏலம் போது வந்துட்டு 20 அம்பால anybody has 30 right? So what has happened is almost 80 plus features been introduced in the last 5 years alone, which means that all this browser people are very hard at work, right? They're not sleeping, right? They're saying how we can let the developers not use Tailwind, please use CSS. That's what their motto is all about, right? So obviously about this 80, not everything is major, but like 30 plus are major features been there. And among that, I cannot deliver in 30 minutes 30 features. Please see any YouTube videos for it, right? 1 minute a feature they will deliver, right? So we'll be seeing some top 7, in my opinion, some of the really good features. And hopefully that will give you a more enthu to see more, explore these features, right? So that is the agenda of this talk, right? So we'll be seeing some of this logical properties and all this amazing colors, right? Okay, so how many people have, just give a raise of hand, you guys are familiar with at least 5 in this? At least 5. Give a raise of which you think is the latest feature in CSS? Some of the if condition, it's very latest, yeah. Not yet supported in all browsers. There is if conditions coming into CSS, right? Not only in React or thing, in CSS also we started, right? If you have done how many people have done SAS? So all these will be like, okay, these are all 90s kids, okay, we know, because nobody is doing SAS nowadays, all Tailwind, right? So that's why they have done SAS when they're 90s kids, okay? So so many things SAS has been useful for, right? It's been brought through down into CSS directly, right? So which means that it's become more powerful, basically, right? Any other features? Okay, if condition is one. You guys know, okay, this is some latest feature we got. Anyways, Matish is one of my students. so I can pinpoint him and ask. Okay, just kidding, huh? Anybody else? Any feature, guys? Which guys you know of CSS? Okay, this is a good feature. CSS is a feature, very good. For developer, there is no bug, right? We all say we see features only, right? And I think maybe many of you guys would have thought, okay, Flex and Grid, that's the latest one, right? That's why I've written the talk is Beyond Flex and Grid, because it's been there 8 years before it came down. After that, we have not updated our understanding, right? So we need to upgrade ourselves. So let's see, right? So first of all, logical properties. I think this, at least people know a little bit about and why it is needed. But if I show you, you will know, I would say, right? What is it all about? Let's see. Okay. So we always use, so this is the box model. I think this is a definite interview question. Everybody knows what is box model. Again, everybody, seniors likes to ask also, right? So your box model consists of your margin, padding, content, all that, right? But always what we say, if you want only the top margin, then what do you use? Margin top, right? That's a bad thing. That's what I'm going to tell the talk. Don't use margin top, right? Why should not we use margin top? There is the answer on the board also, I think so. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's on the screen only, right? Why do you think it's bad? Right? These people are not crazy, again, they're rewriting the margin top to say margin block start, they're saying it. You can see that, right? This is the equivalent nowadays. The right one is the recommended one nowadays. And that's called logical properties. So instead of margin top, margin block start. Instead of border top, border block start. Right? Along this axis or a block. Along horizontal axis or inline. Now, why people are saying that way? This is more easier, right? My right. Okay, this side is more easier, right? Why to torture us? By adding more things. Yes. Anybody has done like your app in multiple languages? Okay, see, there's there's one hand. There's one more hand. Yeah? I think they might be knowing some of it. Yeah. Any guess, buddy? From your side? Why do you think this will be there? Just give a guess. Nothing wrong in it. But why? Yes, yeah, go ahead. Writing, yes, very good. Right? Because all languages are not written left to right, right? Some are written right to left and top to bottom. Who knows? Manga fans, right? Anime fans, right? Because Japanese are written in top to bottom, right? Okay. So some of the languages, you can see that, right? So I have the arrow here, left to right. This is how, like, Latin means like the family of languages. Latin family of languages. All are written left to right and top to bottom. Correct? Hebrew kind of languages or Sanskrit, not Sanskrit, sorry. Arab kind of languages, all are written from right to left and top to bottom, right? Japanese is a little different, okay? So it's written top to bottom, that's how they read it actually, and right to left. Crazy they are, huh? So if you think about, like, you want margin here, right? Or margin here, let's say, right? This is what we're talking about. Like, what you should say? Margin top, if you say, right? Then if you convert the language, the top will not be the right place to be put, basically. Like, so if you say margin top here, but you're reading this way, right? So this is how you read left to right. And this is from right to, bottom, right? But this one is like crazy roller coaster. Right? You're going to read this way, right? So you want to be more like general, right? To fit in every languages. That's why logical properties. Right? So what I teach is always, right? When you know the why, like why it was introduced, it becomes very easy to learn. Otherwise, it headache. Or this also I have to learn. They will ask in interview questions, right? Start using it, right? So because you're going to support multiple languages, if not also, Okay. If not, also start using logical properties, right? Nobody going to get hurt. Okay. So as I have some examples here. Okay. So this example is not to see the code actually, right? It's just the view here. Hopefully behind the back, everybody can see. Yeah, I'll zoom it in more, right? So this code pen I have given in the slides will be shared, guys. So don't worry. So what is the idea is so that you guys know, like, if I can toggle this and see, like, oh, what is it? Wow. Yeah. Okay. So because top, left, right. Where do you use top, left, right, guys? When do we use it? With position properties. Now, you might ask now, how do I know the logical equivalent of it, right? So you can see that insert block start, some random thing. Huh? No. You guys know what does insert 0 means? Anybody? Give a raise of hand. What is insert 0 in CSS? Okay, yeah. So in that also it comes, but that is not the thing. Just insert 0. It's actually a short form of something. That much I will give you the clue, right? And it's related to position only. Yes. Insert 0. What? Exact 0. Z index 0. Yeah. Anybody else? What it could be? Give a guess. See, people are giving guess. They also don't know. You also guess something. So insert is related to position. Okay. It's a short form. So what it could be? Bottom 0. Come again. Insert spelling is INSET. Okay. Insert. R illa. Okay. Insert 0 is short form for top, bottom, left, right, all 0. That's what insert 0 is all about. Okay. So it's a short form of that. That's why why I'm telling you this is, right, not to ask you some question, just to make you remember this next time. Oh, it is insert block start. Why do you say? Because it's related to position property, and this is how it is. The name comes from. Okay. And same goes for everything. See, margin, border, padding, and then we have insert. So all these are covered now. Same way, anybody can tell me what is this equivalent of you done so far CSS? What is this? Min block size means what? Minimum height. Very good. Yes. Round of applause for the other student. Yeah. Okay. So minimum block size. So this one is minimum width. Yes. So that is the equivalent basically, right? So easy to remember. And whenever you are in doubt, this code pen is there, right? So try to get used to it. Whenever you, instead of using minimum width now onwards, use minimum inline size and block size. That's what you have to start using it now onwards, right? So your CSS is prepared. Even if you are going to another language, go to support other language, you are set for life. Okay, that is what it is for. Okay, another one, just to show you the workings of it, like how it will change. Okay, so you can see that this is a nice example that you can see. Okay, so if you use like text align right, what everything goes to the right hand side, right? No, nothing wrong in it, right? But what happens in other languages? So if I toggle the direction, right? Text align right still in the right direction only, which is what we want, you think? Which is what we want, guys? 1 or 2? Give a shout out. How many people say 1 is what we want? Give a shout. Yes. No. 2, how many people think it's the right answer? Give a yes. Yes. Yeah. This is what we want because we have changed the writing direction, right? So when in English, we are saying that everything to be text align right, which is like normal, what we call it as LTR, right? Left to right, basically. But now if I change the direction, which means that the LTR changes to RTL, right? When in RTL, right is not this one. Right should be the other side. Opposite of opposite, basically. Opposite of opposite should be the other side. So instead of using that is what start and end you should use basically. So in this case, this is how you will start making your CSS one level better, right? Everybody got it? Any doubts? Good. We'll move on to the next one. Yay, we upgraded. Right? I feel that every time when we learn new things, I have upgraded. Okay. Let's talk about test wrap. This is like a nice. So what all the initial how I've arranged is all the CSS easy things is at the starting so that you have everybody fun. So it gives you motivation to have the harder one at the last. Okay. Okay. So we have text wrap. Now what this does, let's see visually. Okay. So you can see visually what it does. And now you can tell me what is the difference between three? Anybody? One by one. Alignment. I can hear alignment. Alignment is not the problem, right? Alignment is all left. Anything else? You mean the words space or? So how much length is the content is what is he trying to say, right? Anybody else? Container sizes is full width till this. So his point is fitting inside a container. For all three, container sizes till this end. This end is the container size. So now you can tell me. Anything else? Any idea? Width of the container. That's what. Width of the line. But then it should the ELIT should have come on the top also, right? Yes. Saying something, I thought. Okay, no worries. No pressure. Everybody's trying, which is good, yeah? Anybody from that side? Okay, but the space doesn't matter here. But kind of, you're right in the right track, I would say. She's in the right track. Anybody else? It's fun, right? For me, fun. Anybody? It has to do with the words, yes. That much I can tell you. Right? It has to do with the words only. Not with the length. Yes. Correct? Okay. So what is the logic you think between unset and the pretty? Okay. Yeah, almost okay. I'll give you that. Like 70% is there, I would say, right? So let's see what is the what's the logic behind it, right? Unset is sadly we have orphan. We have an orphan line, orphan word basically in the second line, right? Because this matters because whenever your designer gives, right, all the designs looks perfect. But once you put the data inside it, right, your layout starts breaking, right? Why it breaks? Because we're not exposed to these things. Because they always give like exact length. All the cards are of same width, same content. They will look beautiful only. No doubt about it. But in reality is what? Reality is, right? Somebody will spam comments. Your div will be this much size, right? So that will not be the reality, right? So there is an orphan here which we don't want. Pretty solves that problem basically. It gives you a partner. Okay, he's happy now, right? So I think so I should put up a smiling smiley, but somehow is unhappy with the partner also. Okay. So balance, sometimes balance is what we want, right? In life also, and also in the headings. So whenever you have like H1, H2, H3, H4, all headings, generally we go for balance, right? Because some words will be very too long. You want to balance all the words. So that's why we go for balance. And pretty will go for body text. Body text means what? Like paragraphs and all that. So all paragraphs pretty, and all headings balance. You can write it in your CSS reset. Anybody knows what is CSS reset? Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Why are we doing that? That's the question. No, not all the. Anybody else? Huh? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. That will come under base styles, right? So reset is something different. Hmm. Very good. Right. So what happens is every browser, like slightly they're different, right? Nowadays, the difference becomes a little lesser. Like maybe like your border radius, or it could be the margin. All these are little, different from browser to browser, right? That irritates us, not us basically, but the designers basically. So what we do is we're saying that we are nuking everything. All the elements are zero margin, all the elements are zero padding. I will set initially how it should be. That's what CSS reset is. So you can put this in your CSS reset. Like generally, you can say that all your headings are balanced, and this one is pretty. Okay, all good. Okay, so we have improved one more level now, right? So if you want to use in React, there is a package, but don't use it. I'm just having this for demo purpose, right? So you can you can do it in one line of CSS. Why to use this one, right? So you can see that when you have balance in place, the headings, like if your width is smaller, this looks more nicer rather than this on the left hand side, right? That's why we like it. Okay. And there is some ratio also, like you can set how much the word should come below, how much balance you need in life. That also you have another setting we can do. Yeah. Same goes this. Right? There are so many use cases are given here. When you have time, you can go through all this. So this one I've attached so that there are different use cases available to you. Which one you think it's more apt, right? Right looks more nicer whenever you have testimonials, right? It looks more nicer. That's why we go with balance here. All right, good. Okay, is property. This is more nicer. This doesn't do much of like fancy UI things, but it increases your code readability, right? It makes your code nicer, right? You're staring at it like 8 hours a day every day, right? Why not make it more nicer also? Right? So that's the idea of it. Okay, so now let me give you like a gist of it. Right? So what happens, like let's say, generally you have codes like this. Okay. Oops. Okay, so let me ask you guys this one. What does this means? Article greater than H1. What it means? Article is what element? It's another element, semantic element. And greater than means? Child, right? H1 should be the child of article. That's what we are saying, right? And many times what you want to do, like I want to say all the headings. So what the line says? All the headings inside article have to apply some styles, right? It could be like having an underline. Right? All headings I wanted to be underlined, or some fancy stuff I want to do, right? So I have to do this way, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that, comma, 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 right? And also this way. See, you can see that this one. What do you say? Colon means what? Let me see this one first. What does anybody knows? What is button dot focus means? What are we trying to select? Someone at back, yeah. Which one is the class name? Dot focus class name, yes. But what is button dot focus means? Button with the focus class. Very good, right? Button should have a focus class. That's what it means. Next one is pseudo class, right? Which means when that will get activated? When that happens? On hover is focus is same. Tab on tab basically. If you're going to tab on some things, focus will happen, right? So you want to shorten this syntax both, right? So now how you do it? This is how you do it. Nice and easy. Same thing. Whatever was there before and now it is also. So what are we trying to say in the last line is all the H1 to H6 inside article. That's what is there for, basically, right? Again, same thing. So if you remember maths, how many people hate maths? I know some of my students. Right? So, but I love maths sadly, right? So it's like multiplying, right? Like button into focus, button into colon focus, kind of like multiplying things, right? So you're taking common outside. That's how I remember it. It becomes easier to remember. Okay. So now, but there is a problem. Got to be very careful with using is. Okay. Now, what is the problem? Is related to a specificity. The problem is related to specificity. Anybody knows what is specificity? Huh? Those guys are silent. Let's call them up. Anybody from the back on that side? Huh. Any guess is enough. Not need to be right. What is specificity, guys, in CSS? Huh? Importance? Huh. So how I put it is like its priority is one way to put it, right? So whenever you're trying to select the same element through two different ways, right? You're trying to select it with a class as well as with an ID. Which one will win? ID. That we know. That is what specificity is. Okay. Which takes priority when there is a clash of styles, right? Now here, when you put is like this, right? What happens now? What is the specificity of this? The specificity of this entire selector will be whichever is highest inside the is bracket, right? Whichever is highest. So here, everybody has the equal, everybody is element selector only. So if we have element and class, then class is the specificity of it, right? Now, why this matters? I mean, it matters a lot because which style will apply, we want to know. So we don't want this actually. In many cases, we want to nullify that specificity. So this is where we have another selector which does the same thing, but the specificity remains 0, right? So overriding is easier, basically, right? So this is the difference between is and where. Is and where does the same thing, but the where can allows other styles to override this, right? So let me give you a demo, right? What I mean by that. Okay. I hope it's visible to everybody there back then. Okay, I have zoomed it as much as possible. Okay, what is the question here is? The question is, what will be the text color when I uncomment these lines? Right? So again, I said is and where does the same thing. Only thing is where has less specificity. Right? So now you can tell me. Right? Now it is green because this line we have green, right? That's the way the text color is green. Now if I uncomment this, what will happen? All hell will break loose, right? Now tell me, what color will be the text? Now you can discuss with your partners if you want, right? Discuss with go ahead. Is it visible back there? Code is visible? Okay. Okay. Also have a look at this HTML. That's why I've kept it here. Right. I'll uncomment it so that we have some color highlighting. Right. See, same multiplication will happen from this side also. From left side or right side, same multiplication will happen, right? So dot header, dot p, dot main, dot p, like that. Right? Same. We have this row has this column, will say. Okay, this column does team A, let's say, right? Team A, you guys have your answers. Right? I'll give you 5 seconds, okay? Okay. One answer. If you guys say your team says 2 answers, you're out. Disqualified. This team is disqualified then. Huh? Convince your team members so that they don't shout other answer. Okay. Yellow. Yellow. Disqualified. Okay. In the team B. Shout your answer. 1, 2, 3. Out. Okay, let's ask from this part, at least first. Purple. Okay, purple is what they're saying. They're back. நமக்கு எதப்பா வம்பு இருக்கிறவங்க தெரியாம இருந்துருவோம். ப்ளூ. ஓகே, அந்த பக்கம் ப்ளூ. கன்ஃபார்மா ப்ளூ இல்ல. ஓகே, நெக்ஸ்ட். இந்த half. Red. People are voting for red. Back half. அவர் yellow தானே நீங்க? Any color. Purple. Okay. So people who say, I think people, anybody said purple? Very good. Yes, purple is the right answer. Very good. Right? So, சும்மா ரேண்டமா 1 2 3 சொல்றது இல்ல, ஏன்னு சொல்லணும். So what happens is, see, in cascading we know that the below one has more weightage, right? Always. But still, what happens? Because where doesn't have more zero specificity, right? It cannot override the is one, right? Now this guy can override, like this guy can, these both are like same only, right? You're writing same only, right? But the lower one will have more priority. So that's why it is purple, basically, right? You cannot override with one class with these guys double class, double irukangala andute, right? So they have, so we call 0 to 0. If anybody knows specificity, it is 0 to 0. 2 classes are there, but here is only one class. This guy cannot override, definitely. So the answer is yes. So now you know why it is important. All good till now? Yeah? Any doubts? Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, so this is one of the fun topic. I like it. We have amazing colors. Anybody knows, like, how many people have done recently, like, monitor purchases? How many people purchased a monitor recently? Nobody into gaming. Oh yeah, Praveen. What did you see, buddy, when you purchasing? Like, what spec you saw? 27 inch. Size matters. Anybody? Yeah. sRGB. Enna sRGB now? 99% இருக்கா வந்துட்டு கில்லிங் ஜோம்ஸ். அப்படியே சார்ஜ் எப்படி சொல்லுச்சு வந்துட்டு. ஓகே, அப்பெல்லாம் சீனியர் சொல்லுவாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. இப்ப சார்ஜ் எப்படி சொல்றாங்க? சீனியர் சொன்னாங்க, நாங்களும் பண்ணோம். 4K. Very good. 4K. Anybody else? Any editors in the house? Any streamers, vloggers? Nobody? ஸ்ட்ரீமிங் யாரும் பண்றது இல்லையா? அங்க யூடியூபர் ஒருத்தர் இருக்காரு. டெம்பரேச்சரா? ரெஃப்ரெஷ் ரேட். ஓகே. கலர்ஸ்னு போட்டிருக்கேன் டாபிக். அதுக்கு ரெஃப்ரெஷ் ரேட்டுக்கு என்னப்பா சம்பந்தம்? ரெசல்யூஷன். ஓகே. ஆர்ஜிபி. என்னது மானிட்டர்லயும் ஆர்ஜிபியா? So how okay, very good point. How do they say this 16 million colors? அது எங்க இருந்து வருது? அதுக்கப்புறம் ஏதோ ஓகே எத்தனை பிக்சலா அவர் தான் ஏதோ பக்கத்துல இருந்தாரு, நம்பால எங்கேயோ போயிட்டாரு அவரு. ஸோ கலர் காம்பினேஷன் இஸ் லைக் ஸோ வி சே கலர் ஸ்பேஸ். திஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் ஃபார் ஃப்ரண்ட் அண்ட் டெவலப்பர். பேக் அண்ட் அவங்களுக்கு வந்து கலர் வந்து பிளாக் அண்ட் ஒயிட் தான் எதுவுமே தெரியாது அவங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு, ரைட்? தே see ஆல்வேஸ் டேட்டா இல்லையா காலையில் வந்துட்டு. ஸோ see we have been living in for now till now 240p ல இருந்தோம் நம்ம எல்லா வெப் பேஜும். although our monitor was supporting 4K, the colors were not popping out. Now they have introduced in CSS so many amazing colors which pops out, right? So we should know we call it a color, like the bunch of colors is called as gamut, right? So sRGB is one of the gamut. When your monitor vagumodu, like you will see like sRGB how much it is covered, means how much colors I can see, like 16 million. யாருக்கு அந்த புரியாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு தான் 16 million colors, 25 million, அது random 16 million color. So how much gamut you're covering, that is what it matters, right? sRGB, and there is called P3. Display P3 is there, right? And REC 202. So many other gamuts are available. Okay. Now we were stuck at sRGB for so long time. sRGB da நம்ம web page la adukku mela theriyave illa. Now we have the P3 gamut. P3 gamut is like almost like double to triple size of whatever sRGB can show, right? So how do you access the P3 gamut? Using this okay LCH. Okay LCH. With this we will be able to access the P3 gamut. So புது கலர்லாம் பார்க்கலாம். இப்ப முன்னாடி பார்க்க முடியாத கலர் இப்ப பார்க்க முடியும், right? So this is what this is, right? So what and all formats you've been using so far to in CSS? RGB, oh very good. அப்புறம் X, HSL, HSLA, alpha add பண்ணிட்டு A, அது வேற ஏதாவது? Anything else? 3 colors தான். ரெட் ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா கலர் போட்டுடலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஓகே. there is HWB, LCH. இப்போ நீங்க அந்த டெட் டூல்ஸ் ஓபன் பண்ணி பாத்தீங்கன்னா இது எல்லாமே இருக்கு அதுல. யாரும் ஓபன் பண்ணி பார்க்கறது இல்லை, அவ்வளவுதான், ரைட்? இது வந்து 3 வருஷம் மேல ஆகுது வந்துட்டு, ரைட்? All 3 to 4 years it's been there in all browsers, not only Chrome. Everybody will ask me after the talk, நீங்க இதை யூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு சொன்னீங்க, நான் யூஸ் பண்ண உடஞ்சு போஸ்ட் ப்ரொடக்ஷன்ல. It is available in all the browsers right now, right? So there are new formats. One is LCH, one more is OK LCH, OK lab. இந்த மாதிரி 4 இருக்கு வந்துட்டு. What is the difference we will see later, but all 4 can show the P3 gamut. And the P3 புது கலர்ஸ்லாம் இது எல்லாத்தையும் காட்ட முடியும், right? So that is what the main thing is. So in LCH we have L for lightness, right? And C for chroma and hue, right? So you guys know what is hue because you have used HSL, yeah? What is hue? What is the color basically? Yellow or purple or whatever it is, right? Chroma is what? That is what? Interesting. Kind of like contrast. Very good. Yeah. Like how, like if you use Samsung phone, right? After photo edutha appuram, like it'll be like popping out all colors basically, right? Because it's ready for Instagram. That's the main idea. So you want to boost the color, you increase the chroma. How much color you want to put, right? And then lightness is how much lighter it should be, lighter or darker. That's what it is, right? Now, what was the problem with HSL? And why did HSL was the good format so far? Because it is easily understandable by humans, HSL, right? X la நீங்க ரேண்டமா ஒரு X வேல்யூ கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா ஒண்ணுமே புரியாது உங்களுக்கு. என்ன மாத்திரம் என்ன ஆகும்? ஏதோ ஒரு கலர் வருங்க, right? Don't know what colors we'll get, right? Same thing with RGB. If I change one color, do I know what will I get? No. But in HSL, if I hold the S and L values same and then change the hue value, I know what approximately I know what will I'll get. Or if I fix the hue and increase the saturation, what will I get? I know. But there are problems with HSL. That's why we went to this one. Okay. One reason is we have more colors to show. Another reason is there is something called perceptual uniformity. What is that? We'll see, right? Screen, it depends upon screen and projector also to see this effect. That's why I put some numbers on it. Okay. The problem is when you have a background color and on top of the text, there is always a problem. Okay, you can see this. See, 90% means what here? Anybody can guess what does 90% means here? Yes, correct. Visibility, yes. How good the contrast is. Background color ko and the text ko, how much the contrast is. This is very good. This is also very good. But as you see, these are not very good. Belows are not very good, basically. But here with LCH, you get a uniform visibility, right? See, even though these are all 50% lightness, all are 50% lightness, but you get like different visibilities. This is what is called perceptual visibility, right? You should get same thing, but you're not getting the uniform colors. But here, every time we're getting the same 50% alaga, 50% right? What is the purpose of this? Anybody can guess. With this, what can we do? Designers will be very happy. Why? Correct? Very good. Yes. Right? Yes. Round of applause. Yes. See, it is easy to generate these. So his point was changing themes will be easier. The underlying point is it is easy to generate color palettes. It is easy to generate color palettes, basically. That is why LCH. So once you have one hue, you can light pink, dark pink, இதெல்லாம் வந்து easier generate பண்ண முடியும் வந்துட்டு with one hue. But with HSL, you see that there is a varying visibility, right? So it's not that good for it. That is why we went for LCH. Okay. So now this is what I was talking about. sRGB in the smaller triangle is sRGB. Now we have P3, which is a more bigger triangle. More colors are there. These colors were not visible before. See, this is like a peak. Is there? There's a peak in green. This was not seen before. Okay. So this is a new gamut is unlocked now for us. Now if you use HSL, this P3 you cannot access. The colors right? So both LCH and OK Lab both can do the same thing, but prefer always OK LCH. Don't go for OK because LAB is like lab is like you're telling XY axis. Again, it is very hard to play around with that. It becomes more like your old X value. We're saying that X level right, Y level what color I will get, I don't know. But here we're fixing the hue, right? Same color, more booster, coming booster, chroma. So OK LCH is better option always. So go for that. Now OK LCH. Now tomorrow you'll go to DevTools and see there is LCH also there. OK LCH. Now which one to go? LCH OK LCH is okay. LCH OK LCH, right? So with LCH there's a problem with like how much with blue colors basically. Blue colors there is no uniformity. With OK LCH there is uniformity is there. So again, that is the reason we have OK LCH. So you can blindly go with nowadays. Don't go with hex values. Don't go with SSL. Always start using OK LCH. That is the end of all this amazing colors topic. Okay. Now, where you can go through and see this, like you can see this, you can play around with this. It's very fun one, right? So you can see this in this. I'm going to increase the lightness of the color. If I increase lightness of the color, right, automatically you see that there is lesser and lesser hue values are available. Right? And if I boost my chroma also, because only these colors can show that much lightness and that much chroma. There are only such colors available which can show that much brightness and chroma. So we can play with this and then find out and then I can't show you this in the screen, but at least there's a cross bar here, right? And this cross lands at the P3 format, right? So you play around with this, and whenever your monitor cannot display P3, it will display something equivalent to it. So you don't need to worry about it. Okay, so people who have good monitors, they will see your better color. People who do not have that good monitors, they will see some approximate to the color. So you are safe on that. Okay, so that is the point of it. So we are running out of time little bit, right? I will container queries, I will skip for now. but we'll see subgrids. It's a very fun topic. We'll end with this, right? This is, I think, will be good for seniors as well, and for the intermediate levels. This is a very good topic to learn. Okay, how many people are a fan of grids? Nobody, right? Now, how many people use flex first? First flex. See, you can sit down around and see your people, right? See, grid is, there is no competition between grid or flex. தலையா தளபதியா இங்க இல்ல, அது அந்த போட்டியே இல்ல, தளபதி தான் இங்க போட்டி. ஓகேவா? So you should use both actually, flex and as well as grid, both you should use. Okay, depends upon the situation, right? So I'll give you one, I'll give you some idea on the grid, and then we'll go to how to solve that with subgrid also. Okay, so we have some designs here, like I have some cards here, and then let's say if I'll uncomment this line. Okay, so what happens with this line of code, right? So if I say display grid, okay. Okay, I'll leave with you with this one, right? At least with the subgrid part, I'll show you the final output at least, right? My time is up. And then we will leave it out. Okay, what problem does at least subgrid solves? We'll see, right? So there is a problem here. This, you will see, this is a very common problem. What is the problem here? Anybody can tell me? Image. Leave the image part. Anything else? When we are squeezing it, what happens here? You can clearly see this. If you compare these two things, what happens? The image, although we are trying to give the same width for the image, and I've given same in terms of grids, I've given the same fractions, 1FR, 1FR, right? But sorry, 2FR, 1FR, I've given it. For every image, it should have come 2FR or 1FR. But why it is not like aligning properly? No, that is not the reason. The reason is your text size. Text size, one has a bigger word here, TypeScript. So it is occupied, the one word cannot be broken in two pieces, right? So it has to occupy more space, right? But in this case, ESLint is smaller word, so doesn't occupy. The prettier is a smaller word, doesn't occupy. So that is the reason it is different sizes are there. But I want, as a designer, what do you want? All things to be same. Torture பண்ணுவாங்க நம்மள போட்டு, right? Now, this is how you can solve with subgrid, right? If you unlock this instead of the above code, just add these lines of code. Now, magically, everything fits. Wow, right? Now, what has this happened is, now you need to do 4 columns, and these images should be 2 columns layout. In that 4 columns, 2 columns they should take, basically, right? Span 2 they should do, right? And I should apply subgrid. Then everything will know. Before, grid did not know these. I should align this guy to this guy. Did not know. With subgrid, you know I should align it properly. That is the main thing here, right? So with this, I will end the talk. Okay, right? And yes. Okay, so you can. So this platform. Just to give a brief I'm developing a platform basically. This is for people who are learning JavaScript, or people are into that, basically, just beginners. What this will do is, it's like a steroid of lead code, I would say, right? It will force you to learn new features in JavaScript and then use it, basically, right? So that is what the topic is, and making it more fun also. I made it that way. It tests you if you have used destructuring, are you using template literals, like that way. It's all free only, nothing charged and all. So I just wanted to make it more easier people to come inside JavaScript. And if you want my LinkedIn, you can connect there, right? And thank you, guys.
Let's give a big round of applause, guys. I knew about LCP. What is LCP? Anyone knows? LCP. Yeah, largest content fulfilled. He enlightened me with LCH today. I never knew about LCH. How many of you actually knew about LCH before? Nice. So even like this was the first time I actually learned about LCH. So thank you so much, bro. So today's session, okay. So today's session, if I have to summarize, I would say it was like the movie Kaidi, where the climax was super duper good. We had few glitches in the start. We had issues with projectors, quiz.com, and stuff like that. But this session went on smooth, and the content was also great. Thank you so much, bro. I would like to invite Surya to felicitate Ragav. Let's give a big round of applause, guys. Thank you so much, bro. I really liked it a lot, learned a lot. So thank you so much. Okay, so now for the community announcements. So type coders, we have the second meetup on 13th December. It's from 2 to 5:30. It's talent. It's being organized in Talentship. So if you're interested in TypeScript, you could actually scan this QR code and you could register it over here, and they'll approve it. Anyone who is into TypeScript and interested in TypeScript, you could actually scan this QR code. All done. Could see a few phones in there. How many of you actually had used TypeScript before? Then you all should actually try attending this. Okay, all good. I see a few more hands. Okay, you could. It seems like you could also search for typed coders space Luma, and you would actually go to this particular link. So next we have She Builds. So they have an upcoming event on Jan 2025. The location is yet to be announced. So if you are planning to be a speaker in this particular event, so it's for speaker, it's not for participating. So if you are planning to be a speaker for that particular event, you could actually scan this QR code. Women's only. She Builds. I'm planning to start a community. It's called He Builds. AI Builds. That's nice. Good one. Okay, so it's because of the sponsors. As I said before, it's because of the sponsors we have been here today. So for all our future events, we are looking for sponsors. If you know anyone who could actually sponsor us, reach out to any volunteers. We'll be giving you a brochure. So as a sponsor, their logo will be prominently displayed on our slides and in banners. And also they'll be getting a dedicated speaking slot. And they'll also gain space to showcase their products in the meetup. So yeah. Next slide. Okay, so we are also looking for speakers. If you really liked any of the sessions today, and if you also want to contribute to the community, you could come up as speaker here. All that you'll have to do is scan this QR code, register, and we'll reach out to you. Next slide. All done? Okay.
You can also go to ChennaiReact.in and you will find all these things.
And coming back to your feedback, I had a couple of people during the break who had come in and gave a lot of feedback. So your feedback matters. It's because of you we all are here. It's for you we are organizing this event. So I request everyone to take the phones up, scan this QR code, give feedbacks so that we could do it in a better way. I knew for a fact that today we had some glitches with the projectors, with quiz.com, which we'll definitely be working on. But whatever you feel could be done, please let us know. We'll be reading every feedback in here. So make sure you give the feedback. Okay, so now it's almost 5:25, and as I said, like we'll be winding up at 5:30. So we have come towards the end of the event. Today we all knew cyclone is going to come, but in spite of everything, you all have gathered here. So that gives us the confidence to, kind of have better events on a larger scale the next time. So thank you so much for coming. I would like to conclude. So I started with a quote, and I also like to conclude with a quote. This is, one second,
So you might have some doubt on how to know about all such events, all such meetups and stuff. So that is why we have a website called tamilnadu.tech. Maybe we'll just open it here. Okay, so it is an open source event directory website. You can look out for all the tech and startup events happening all across Tamil Nadu. We have a lot of events coming up. Okay, right now December we don't have much events, but right from January we'll be having a lot of different events happening. So you just look out here, and it's also open source. You can also contribute if you find out any mistakes. We have a lot of issues open, so you can even try and contribute, and we can surely collaborate. Okay, thank you so much.
And so, and also all the volunteers you see here, we all are full-time employees. We also have few founders in here, but they all have contributed to the community. So I would like to give a big round of applause to the volunteering team. Okay, so as I conclude, I started with a quote from the Almanac of Naval Ravikant's book, and I would also like to end with a quote. So it goes this way: you have two lives. The second one starts when you know only you have one. I'll repeat it again. So it goes: you have two lives. The second one begins when you realize you have only one. So it's just one life. Enjoy, code, create. Yeah. Thank you so much. We'll have a photo session, and then you could network and then leave. So thank you so much. Okay, so we all will come forward. I will be moving everything. We'll take a photo, and then we all can discuss.